Now, we talked about it yesterday, right? I think this is the segment here where we're going to shift over because this might be a hot take among some Cardinal fans out there that love what Josh Dobbs has been doing so far for the Arizona Cardinals. But I think we at least need to address what we talked about yesterday. And I guess I want to ask you, start off here, Mythic, do you still feel like there needs to be a change here at quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals?
That is a very, very, very interesting question. I would say it doesn't hurt. I'd feel like if there's any time to play him, if it's not week 1, it's now. It's now. You're 1-5. You're not going to do anything this season. Like, genuinely, you have to rally off and basically go undefeated to even contend for the playoffs. And if not undefeated, you have to go, what, 10-2?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, 10-2 or 10-1. It's going to be very hard to make the playoffs or even make noise unless you get into a bottom spot, which how many Cardinals fans out there really believe that we're going to contend? Probably slim to none. I don't even know within the organization if they believe that. So why not just see what the young guy has? The young guy who is a rookie, a quarterback, you have no harm, no foul, right? If he sucks for whatever reason, no harm, no foul. Kyler Murray's supposed to be coming back in the next couple weeks. Supposed to. And then why not just see what he has? He could be a long-term, like literally a long-term backup. He could be your future backup going forward. Why not get him reps in the system now? Because if Kyler Murray is able to play, I mean, he's going to be on the field. It's not going to be a quarterback competition.
Right.
So why not just see what the young guy has? Put him out there, kind of just gauge what you have in the system. Let him play 1, 2, 3 games until Kyler's fully ready and just let him adapt. I mean, Josh Dobbs is at quarterback right now. And although he's played solid and he, for the majority, plays turnover-free football, it's not winning games. You have a record of 1-5 and you need change. And even I can admit I'm going back and forth every single week. It's the Josh Dobbs, Clayton Tune, Josh Dobbs, Clayton Tune. Like, it's every single week. But Josh Dobbs had 20 incompletions yesterday, 21 completions. Just think about that. Almost as many completions as incompletions. He had a turnover, or he had a pick where the ball was thrown behind Zach Ertz, and then he had a fumble as well. So it might be time to legitimately start evaluating. And I don't know how realistic this is because the Drew Petzing connection and all that, and they probably feel like he's the best quarterback on the roster, which fair if that's the case. But why not just see if you have a long-term backup in Clayton Tune?
Yeah, I don't think my mind has changed as well since yesterday. And I think obviously we've had a time to cool down. And I want to make sure that I quote this this very important saying here. The definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again, but expecting different results. If the Arizona Cardinals come out here and attempt to bring Josh Dobbs back in here and wield him, I would call it crazy at that very moment, because what else have you seen at this very moment from Josh Dobbs when he's been obviously struggling for the past 3 weeks? And I know some people don't want to call the 49ers game a struggle because he, put points up, right? He put yardage on the best defense in the NFL. But if you're thinking about it in the whole, I guess, whole season, right? Looking at it from the long view, we're 1-5. We're a 1-5 team. Is Josh Dobbs truly the best option, or gives us the best option to win? I don't know anymore. I know I like what he's done as a backup quarterback, and that's what it is, right? The people that were out there saying that Josh Dobbs over Kyler Murray, that's crazy. It's crazy.
It's
and we
always
know it
been
now.
crazy. It's always been crazy.
True. Yeah, no, definitely. It's always been crazy. And then you notice when those throws are deep, right? Those aren't connecting with Marquise or doesn't have that connection with Zach Ertz, or heck, why are we not looking at Michael Wilson as a potential number 1? And why are we only targeting him when it's either garbage time or the fourth quarter? Like, that's the crazy thing to me, where this Arizona Cardinal organization, which we're seeing flashes, and I'm not taking anything away from them, right? The positivity is that we are seeing this team compete. But at the end of the day, it's not good enough. You got to call in a spade, right? You got to call it like it is. And we're not going to sit here and say, moral victories every week, because at the end of the day, it's going to wear thin. And this is probably one of the loudest I've seen, short of after week 1, because obviously he struggled in week 1. Josh Dobbs struggled in week 1, but we kind of understood that he was only in here for about like a week or two, getting practice time. So we kind of gave him a mulligan there, but like, it's, I guess, enough's enough at this very moment. Now, I want to dive into here what JG has said about, I guess what happened here in this game. Let's dive right into JG. And there was a comment about Josh Dobbs, so let's dive into it.
He's got to bounce back from anything.
He will.
That's how you feel the same way with this.
No doubt. No doubt. He's a competitor. He's a warrior, and he'll get back in the lab. And it's not just Josh now. It's me first, coaches, all the players. You know what I mean? We all got to pick up our feelings a little bit and go compete tomorrow.
So I apologize that it's low. I just noticed that it's pretty low. But what are your thoughts here in terms of what JG? Do you feel like there is going to be a quarterback change now? Although we want it, do you think it's going to happen?
I don't know. Those comments, it's really hard to see the way he just backed Josh Dobbs and kind of just not assume that Josh Dobbs will be the starter going into next week, because he was asked about Cottrell Clark and didn't answer anything. He gets asked about Josh Dobbs. He's a warrior. He's a competitor. Yep. He goes out and he does what he does, and it's very polar opposite answers. Like very polar opposite answers. So I don't know. It's tough. That's what I said with the Drew Petzing connection, the connection it looks like he has. And they probably feel like he's the best quarterback on the roster, which very well might be true. As of now, why not just throw the young guy in? I don't understand. I'm not sure if that'll happen. I'm going to probably say no after hearing that. I'm going to keep it real. I don't think it will happen.
No, I agree.
You're probably very similar thinking.
Very similar thinking. Yeah. Honestly, I want the change. I want it to be, why not, right? Why not give the opportunity? Because this is kind of one of those things where, like, you never know, right? Like, most fans would see how Clayton Tune played in the preseason and be like, oh, he was garbage, he was trash. But you got to keep in mind too, he was playing with seconds and threes, right? Now, we also have seen Josh Dobbs struggle as well. But what we say is give him time, give him an opportunity. Every person, every player, every quarterback gets better when they have reps under their belt. It's just what it is, right? You can only practice as much as you can, but when it comes down to is chemistry, the timing with these wide receivers. And as of right now, we're seeing Josh Dobbs struggle, and he's struggling and struggling and struggling. And it doesn't seem like there is an end in sight, especially with this tough stretch coming our way with the Seahawks, the Ravens, and then the Browns after that. What are we really trying to accomplish here, right? Are we really trying to win games, or are we worried that Clayton Tune might be better than most people think, right? Now, that obviously that's going to the conspiracy theories of it all, but like, it's getting to the point where, why are we backing so much? Why are we backing Josh Dobbs so much? I get it that there was a connection between him and Drew Petzing, but at the end of the day, if it ain't working, you got to fix something, right? Because if you truly want to win and you're putting the same thing out there, it's a definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Bingo. And I don't know. I don't think they think Clayton Tune is better than most people think, because if that's the case, they have no connection with Kyler. I mean, they'd ship him off in 2 seconds. Cool, we got a rookie quarterback under contract. Who wants Kyler Murray? It would be a fire sale in 0.2 seconds with 2 top picks, potentially 2 top picks. The Houston Texans are way better than anybody would have imagined, including myself. But I think they would just play the guy. And I think they really do think Josh Dobbs gives them the best chance to win. But at a record of 1-5, what is the purpose of not finding out what a rookie quarterback has? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're 1-5. Like, if Josh Dobbs rallies these next 2 games, like, the crazy thing is, if we sat at a record of 3-3 right now, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
100%.
Even if we win the Giants game and we have a record of 2-4, we're probably not sitting here having a conversation.
Ding, 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 ding. And so that's what we talked about yesterday too.
Yeah. It's what's crazy is it's literally like you win one more game that we're supposed to win, like the Commanders game, the Giants game, or what was the other game that was very winnable? This one was semi-winnable, I would say, but there was another one I feel like that just slipped.
Commanders, let's look at the schedule here real quick.
I'm not sure what it was, but
so
I feel
Commanders,
like there was a
Giants,
game.
We beat the Cowboys, the 49ers, Bengals, and then the Rams. Well,
Bengals.
I
thought the Bengals had us.
Yeah.
I think the Rams was winnable.
I agree. There was no inkling in my mind while watching this Bengals game. Although coming into the Bengals game, I was like, "Oh, that might be a winnable game because they're 1-3 and 1-3."
I said we were gonna 10+ win because of what I saw, and then it's very hard to go into this game. I knew the Rams were gonna crush us.
Yeah. And then the Bengals, during that game, I didn't think the Cardinals were going to come back. The 49ers, they played the 49ers pretty tough, but like literally, I feel like the 49ers were dangling that dollar bill with the you know, that commercial was like, oh, you're
You
not
almost got it.
fast enough, almost got it. That's kind of felt like what the 49ers were doing to us right in the beginning. They're like, oh snap, these guys are actually having a little fight in them, right? Let's shut them down, right? It's like the little brother that thinks you're beating them in the wrestling match, and then they're like, oh no, well, let me choke slam you real quick, power bomb on you, you know what I mean, and end
You
this game.
thought
You thought
you had a chance. Nah,
yeah,
not today.
that's what I feel like what was happening in the 49ers. So although there was flashes and moments of like, oh, okay, I see you, Cardinals. But no, I think when you come down to it, we don't have the roster to play 60 minutes, which is something that you said very beautifully. We have a team that has fight and has the ability to try to be in games, but in the grand scheme of things, we are missing uber talent on this roster. Uber talent.
And when it comes to halftime adjustments and just everybody kind of regrouping in the locker room, I feel like either the momentum dies off or we just get completely figured out and it's over from then. We just put up 0 points in the second half, a goose egg. And I know there's a lot of people who probably, actually, I don't know how many people are out there now backing for Josh Dobbs the way they were. You know, because they just saw the performance he had. I'm not sure how many people are really going to bat with a 1-5 record.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people who would go to bat for this. And I think it's slowly dying down, and rightfully so. But how do you look at his performance and not say that doesn't fall on him? Or a majority of this game doesn't fall on him? This game would have been a 3-point game if those 2 touchdowns happen. It would have been 23-26. Just let that sink in. You're telling me we couldn't have had any opportunity to have a field goal, even the last drive, like for example, where we're still trying to score, couldn't have been a field goal. It's just the little things. It comes down to plays like that. You can't miss touchdown opportunities in the NFL. If you do, chances aren't going to be very high for you to win a game, especially wide open touchdowns. Can't have it. You cannot have it. I think Josh Dobbs is a decent decision maker, like an above average decision maker. I just feel like his arm talent's not there. I feel like there's plays where it's like, oh, that's a good read. Oh, that's a good read. That's a good read. And it's like, oh, he doesn't have the arm talent to make the play. That happened like 4 or 5 times yesterday. And it's like, he just doesn't have the arm talent. It's just what it is. He's a semi-good decision maker with below average arm talent.
Yeah, I like that. No, I agree. Although I think we both could agree that, hey, why not? Let's give the opportunity to Tune, right? Let's see what this young kid can do. The way that JG has come out and backed him when he didn't do that to Control Clark is kind of telling, at least in my eyes. Do I want to get some breaking news coming out, sometime this week and saying Cardinals are making a change? I would love it. I would love it because I still remember the report that was put out from one of those big reporters saying that this is going to be evaluated weekly. Weekly is going to be evaluated, right? But right now we're going with Josh Dobbs. And okay, I respect that, right? Because the connection with Drew Petzing, but like, I don't know. There's nothing right now. Like you got to be a Cardinal fan that truly feels like this organization can do no wrong if you don't have any second thoughts in your head. You know what I mean? Because these are decisions made by humans. You know what I mean? These are guys that obviously commit their lives to the NFL, and that's great, right? Obviously, they have IQs of the yin yang with these football things that they do, football plays, football moves that they make. But here's the thing, like, they can make bad decisions. We've seen it year in and year out, especially here in the Cardinals organization. So I don't know. I think it's time to make the change. I want to see what this young kid can do. And it's not for the idea of, I feel like we're going to get a better chance of winning. If we get a win, cool. If we don't, we evaluate, right? And if Kyler Murray does come back, then we'll cross that bridge when it crosses that bridge.